And here we go. Welcome in to another edition of Bucky and BK. Today is Monday, August 3rd, 2026. And the Buck and I are with you all for the next 2 hours. On today's show, Texas football returns this week. Players report tomorrow. The first practice of the fall is on Wednesday. We continue to preview everything you need to know about the Longhorns' upcoming fall camp. Today, we'll talk about players with the most to prove and position battles that are worth paying the most attention to. Speaking of Texas football, the Longhorns landed a 5-star over the weekend. We'll get the Bucks breakdown on running back Landon Williams-Callis. We've got some NFL to dive into. Yes, the NFL returns this week. Major League Baseball trade deadline to talk about, and the BBK news and why today's not so bad. We are locked, we are loaded, and we are ready to roll on a Monday show. We hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, and we appreciate you people. Yeah, you people starting your weeks off with us. How are you today, my man?
I am fabulous. What a nice, warm weekend it was. Bright and sunny and hot, and it will stay that way this week. The humidity will be down, which you can tell already. It's going to be down a little bit, whatever the hell that means. Still going to be 199, 101, but the humidity is down. And to our friends in Washington State and all over this country that are really, boy, oh boy, has the heat and the humidity and fires taking place all over this place. And CB's up there in the Northwest, and he knows what it's like up there, and they're suffering in Spokane. My wife just came back through Spokane, and now that place is on fire and all over the country. So for those that are up there struggling all over the country, not just in Washington State, but all over this country with wildfires, our prayers go out to them. And once again, good day to the soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, the soldiers in the state of Texas, but to all those workers, firefighters, EMS workers that are really having to do a lot of duty this summer all over the place. And, there are people that are EMS workers from all different states. California headed to Washington and to help those folks. Please be safe and be careful yourselves up there. I know you're up there to save other people, but watch it. Your families, you're important to your families too. So please be careful. And hopefully we'll get some rain in some of these places. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll even get a little bit every once in a while. But to me, bring it on. Bring on the heat. Bring it on.
It's August, baby.
Yes. It's football season, and it's time to go to camp, boys.
Hey.
And girls and band members. It's your time now.
It is your time. Yes, football season right around the corner, of course, for college, for the pros, but for the high schools, for the kiddos, for everybody. Summer is coming to an end. We're seeing all these back-to-school ads on TV. And
yes.
An early congrats to you parents for making it to the end, and an early apologies to you kids for having to go back to school. It's that time.
And sorry about that, teachers, but it's almost tip for kids in the car line time again.
Oh.
Tip for teachers in the car line. And I'll say this also, be just as we get ready to go back to school and all that stuff, just appreciate it. I'll give you a quick tip, kids. Appreciate what your families and your parents have done for you through this summer. Not all of you went to work. Not all of you had a summer job. There were some of you just hanging around, eating up all the food at the house, going to Hat Creek Burger on somebody else's dime. Thank your parents for a great summer. I know some of you had a fantastic summer. I'm not saying you all did, but there are some of you had a fantastic summer. Be thankful you got that done. So
I love it.
And your parents were able to do that for you.
Well said, my friend. All right, well, let's dive into the football conversation. You mentioned it, back to camp, and for the Texas Longhorns, it will be back to practice later this week. Again, players report tomorrow. The first practice is Wednesday afternoon, and we'll have actual reports to talk about, but we continue to preview what we want and what we expect to see and hear from the Longhorns over the next month, as we now sit 33 days away from kickoff, Texas and Texas State on September 5th. Buck, let's start with maybe players with the most to prove. I'll give you the floor first. You can go offense, you can go defense, you can go special teams, you can go with the star, you can go with a role player, a transfer, a freshman. Obviously, everyone's got a lot to prove. This is an all-in season for Texas football after all. We know what the expectations are. We know what's at stake. There's a lot to play for, and this next month is going to be very important. But for some guys fighting for playing time, fighting for starting jobs, fighting to get into the good graces of this coaching staff, is there a name or a couple of names that come top to mind for you if I ask which players have the most to prove in fall camp?
Well, I would say this definitely. Nick Townsend, the tight end. I mean, how good are you? It's time. It's time to crap or get off the pot probably in your career. This is not, how are you going to be the following year? It is now this year. What are you going to be? Are you going to make a stand that you are the guy at tight end? And I would say at the safety position, all of them, everybody on defense, all of those guys on defense. I'm not even going to mention the offensive line because that is we all know that with the exception of the left tackle, everybody has something to prove. Even guys coming from the transfer portal that have been players other places, you still have something to prove here at the University of Texas. But for the safety position, that's all of you. And for me at tight end, Nick Townsend. And, Wingo is always going to be at the top of my list anyway, because for that guy, even though he had a year that some would like to have that in their careers, I'd have liked to have had a year like that at Boston College. I'm serious. Back in the day, I'd love to have the year he had. Sure. But for him, he's much more than that. You know that. I know I'm going all over the place, offense, defense, offense. Brian Wingo will be at the top of my list because he makes a difference in the entire team and what he does, because that offense, I think scoring-wise, will skyrocket up if he's consistent. So that's of the utmost importance to me on how he looks and consistent with his hands. For Nick Townsend, it's more about not really the position, but the kid. Everybody talks about you, but are you there yet? Or do we have to wait another year? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to be sharing this position with like 4 other guys, or are you ready to be the guy? And for the offensive line, it's all of you. It's all of you except for the left tackle. He has nothing to prove except for to get better and establish himself as the tackle in college football right now.
Yeah, that's a strong list right there. And I guess we'll start with the first name that you mentioned, Nick Townsend. I agree with you. Now, it's only year 2 for Nick Townsend, but this is a former top 100 recruit in the country coming out of high school. We've heard for a while that people feel that Nick Townsend is a higher ceiling and more potential than any tight end on this roster. And look, last year, Texas went out and got Jack Andrews out of the transfer portal, one of the highest rated tight ends. You kind of knew Jack Andrews was your plug and play starter, and it didn't make sense for Nick Townsend as a true freshman to be starting anyways. Texas went to the portal this year. They got Michael Masunas, but Masunas didn't have the receiving chops that Jack Andrews did at his previous destination, right? People are talking about Masunas like he's more of an inline blocker, big body tight end. He had 3 receiving touchdowns last year, but he only had 19 catches. We're not talking about the second coming of Brock Bowers here. So all offseason long, we've continued to hear that you think about receiving tight ends, Nick Townsend has the most potential to be a difference maker in the passing game for Texas at that position. So do we see it? I mean, he only had 2 catches for 7 yards last year. He had that touchdown against Texas A&M on that jet sweep. But, Buck, you've said you and I could have scored a touchdown on that.
Not me, you. I would have got there. You would have got there.
That's the nicest
thing
you've ever said.
Remember, I'm the rebounder. I'm not the grab the ball and run guy. Not anymore. I'm just the rebounder now. You are the reverse guy. You could have scored from 2 yards, yes.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'd trip myself. Like, it's not getting caught by somebody. I think I'd
yeah, but you'd fall forward. You're long enough to fall forward and get that score from where he went in.
Maybe. But, like, that was it. I mean, 2 catches and then a jet sweep that obviously caught the Aggies off guard, and it was a great play call by Steve Sarkisian. But, look, not a lot. Again, true freshman, whatever. But, yeah, you would like to see. He's got a golden opportunity during fall camp. And there's 4 tight ends that have a lot to prove.
No, there is a crap load of them. You're right.
It's almost like the Chicago Bears here with what Steve Sarkisian has assembled in that room. And you've got different body types. You've got different skill sets. You've got young guys. You've got veteran guys. You got a transfer. So it's a solid room. You've got options, which in this life, always a good thing. But one of these guys has to step up. And again, you're looking for a difference maker in the passing game, Buck. And here's what I think. Like, Texas's red zone offense hasn't been good enough the last couple of years. It's kind of mind-boggling with, Arch and even back to Quinn and just all of the weapons that Texas has had. You feel like the Longhorns should be like a top 10 to 15 red zone offense in the country.
Sure, they've got incredible receivers. They've got long receivers. They got little scat guys. Now they have backs that can come out of the backfield and catch the ball and get into those spots too. There shouldn't be any excuses in the scoring zone why you don't score.
Right. And at tight end, like that's sort of the go-to position where people think about, like that's where a tight end's supposed to do his work. So maybe it's Masunis, maybe it's Spencer Shannon, maybe it's Amari Winston. Those are the other three guys. But again, Nick Townsend, that receiving ability, high 4-star recruit. I would love to be hearing a bunch of positive things about that guy over the next few weeks to where it's, oh no, we don't have to worry about having a tight end on the field. Like it's kind of a liability. Maybe we should put another receiver out there. Like there's a difference maker in that room who could really help Arch Manning take another step.
Yeah, I'll say this. And if this is all in, Sark won't take long. If that position doesn't come through in the scoring zone, he will have Wingo and some tall Mosley and all those guys in at the same time and running those type of routes and getting uncovered and catching the ball. He won't mess around with toss, sweep, and screens and things like that. He will find another receiving body down there. But even if it's not a tight end, he's got enough receivers.
Yeah, and then more on the list of players with the most approved for Texas going into fall camp. You talked about the safeties. I think that's where you went next.
Yeah,
and
all of it.
Look, I don't think Jelani McDonald has anything to prove. Like that guy.
Oh, he's the starter.
Yeah, we know he's a starter. He's the most proven player in this Texas secondary going into 2026. But who else do you have in that safety room? Who's the starter opposite Jelani McDonald? You talk about Derek Williams Jr., right? A guy who was a very highly touted recruit. His first year and a half of his Texas career was really, really good. Tears his ACL in the OU game in 2024, misses the rest of that season, came back last year and just wasn't the same guy. Okay, well, now he's almost 2 years removed from that surgery.
Yeah, is he able to play at this level?
Yeah, can he get back to the speed and level that he was pre-knee injury? That's the hope, but we'll have to all find out together. Kobe Black making the move from corner to safety. He's a guy who's been in the program for a few years now. Was that move because he's really good at safety, or it's just he's not good enough at corner, or was it just we don't have enough at safety?
We need a safety. We need it.
Yeah. It's like, what can he step up? I mean, you think about coverage, like if Will Muschamp is looking for more man coverage ability out of his safeties because of Kobe Black's cornerback background, maybe there's something there. Perhaps important to note that Black and McDonald were high school teammates back in the day, so maybe there's a good chemistry that those two guys have. And then, Buck, I would say the number one player with the most to prove. And maybe Longhorn fans are tired of hearing about him, and maybe you and I are tired of talking about him, but it's Jonah Williams, is it not?
Yeah, this is, we talk about bust and everything else. It will come out that, we already know that he's injury prone. There's no doubt about that. He hadn't played since high school, really. And if it doesn't happen this football season, it's probably not going to happen, folks. You're not going to wait till his final year and start saying, this is the guy. No, you'll be looking for by that time, there'll be some, all these great defensive backs that they're picking up in a class and kids coming early. Somebody will play that position before he does, if it doesn't happen this year. And, that's too bad for the kid. It's a nice, unbelievable high school story, but you have to keep on moving on. This is a business now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with Jonah Williams, and I know people are frustrated, and look, I'm frustrated with the way things have gone. This is only his second year of college football, right? Like we've talked about him so much. We've talked about him twice as much as any other athlete because he plays two sports.
Right.
So he's only going into year 2 of football, but he's had 3 combined seasons of baseball and football, and they've all been marred by injury. So it feels like we're talking about a 5th-year player to where it's like, all right, like this is it. He really has to make it happen this year. And we're talking about a sophomore right now. But you're right. Texas isn't going to stop recruiting. They already have a really talented safety in the 2027 class. They might add another one. They signed a couple of this year. Like they know it's a business. They've got decisions to make. And speaking of business, they paid Jonah Williams a lot of money, Buck, to come here. And right now the return on investment has been very minimal.
Yeah, and it's tough to talk about it in those terms, but that's how life is in college sports right now. And it's, you know what, if it doesn't happen and he's banged up and he's just not there, guess what? He's going to be looking for a desk job.
Yeah. That's
I mean, that's just the way that's just life in this business now.
right. So he's got a lot to prove. Again, we've heard good things. He's cleared to play, which is great. He sounds like he's doing great in the classroom. He knows the defense. He understands the concepts. He's picked up Will Muschamp's new scheme very, very well, which is great. He's put in the extra work. He stayed in Austin to rehab this summer. So he did everything that he was supposed to do. But we know
And if he's not a starter at safety, he has to be on the special teams to make them better. That's what kind of athlete he is supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, can he get through fall camp healthy?
Yeah, and like you said, you can't just keep paying him. I mean, get him a desk job then. I mean, you can't keep paying him to be the backup to the backup to the backup, and you're waiting for two guys to get hurt before you attempt to put him in. He has to be a special kind of player on a special teams and do something really important for the football team.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if he can make a big difference on
Yes,
the
it would be.
defense. And I don't expect him to be a starter at safety week 1 of the season, but it'd be great for him to get through fall camp healthy first and foremost. And also,
right, you'd like to see him go down on special teams, BK, without getting hurt, without going down even on special teams. Because, I mean, he's only going to do that a couple times during the course of a game. Right. If he plays safety, he's going to be there all the time. And what is he going to do? As soon as he makes the tackle, he's coming out of the game? No, he's got to be something very special on if he's not a starter, he has to be something special on special teams. You can't keep holding him back, paying him to be here.
Yeah, well, they held him back this offseason. Again, they slow played this thing as much as they possibly could coming off.
Right, and like you said, hell, can he make it through the summer?
Right. No, it's a fair question, and I'm holding out hope that at some point the injury luck is going to turn. And we've made the DeMarvion Overshown comparison before. We've made the Jordan Whittington comparison before, right? Those are two guys who you think back on their Texas careers and you think very fondly of them because of what they did late. But early on, their Longhorn careers were marred by injuries. And we were having these same kind of conversations like, we keep hearing about this guy, but is he ever going to stay healthy? Is he ever going to put it together? Eventually, those two did. Now, they don't all do. For every example of a DeMarvion Overshown or a Jordan Whittington, you've got the guy who just never quite pans out. So I'm not guaranteeing anything here.
That's
but
right.
That guy, he's such a supreme talent. Texas could really use some safety depth because that's one of the lesser proven positions on the team, obviously replacing Michael Taft, who's off in the NFL. If Jonah Williams can give you something to think about over these next few weeks, then that'd be a great thing for Will Muschamp's defense.
Yeah, I just got to – he's that kind of athlete. I'm paying him too much. If he can't get on as the starter at safety, then he can be the backup. But I got to see that he's athletic enough to run down and make a tackle without coming up lame. I have to. He has to play somewhere, or like I said, this dude is going to get a desk job. I mean, it's because it's ridiculous. I mean, and it's not his fault. I mean, believe me, that guy doesn't want to be hurt. All he wants to do is compete and be the best he can be. But some people just have that. And you don't have time to wait. You continue to recruit another guy at that position. So the following year, you're not going to say, oh, this is his year. No. The next guy up could be some young guy that's some 5-star stud ready to go.
Right. Yeah, that's the reality of Texas football nowadays.
Yes, it is.
And then another guy with something to prove. You talked about the offensive line. I'll talk about one offensive lineman in particular, and that's Lawrence Seymour. Like, he's the new guy. This will be right. And the pads don't come on until next week, but this is the first real practice setting in Austin that Lawrence Seymour will participate in. Remember, transferred from Western Kentucky, but didn't get here until the summertime. So didn't participate in spring ball, no pads on in the summertime. So he's been around. He's been doing workouts. He's learned the offense. He's met his teammates, whatever, all those things. And the early reports have been good, but obviously, Buck, with an offensive lineman, you don't care about any of that. You care about how he looks once the pads are popping. But that guy right there, left guard was the biggest problem position for Texas in 2025, and they have to get it resolved. Obviously, Trevor Goosby's a stud. I feel good enough about the other 4 offensive linemen, but you know better than I do. If you've got one disaster up front, that whole unit can look like a disaster. So whether it's Lawrence Seymour, there's other guys competing for left guard, but he's the dude because he's really the new guy. Can he lock down that left guard position and make everybody feel confident about the offensive line?
Yeah, to me, it's generally the disaster is if you don't have a left tackle with a right-handed quarterback, and if you don't have a center, you're just screwed. If you just got just anybody playing center, you are in trouble. And this team has enough guys who played the center position to get away from it. It just so happened it became guard last year, which is still kind of weird to me. Like, I mean, you really couldn't find a guard?
Yeah.
I mean, go get one of those 27 tight ends you got to make him a guard. You know what I'm saying? That's generally not what screws you up on your offensive line. And it just so happened it screwed this team pretty royally last year.
It did. And look, outside of Trevor Gooseby, everybody had their problems up front, right? I mean, Brandon Baker, first-year starter at right tackle, he had penalty issues. It took him a while to settle in. DJ Campbell, even though he was super experienced, I don't think the five-star ever really lived up to the billing that we had hoped. Cole Hudson was playing center. That wasn't his natural position, I don't think. So he had his bumps and bruises. But yeah, left guard was the worst by far. And Texas tried to address it. They went after a couple of other guys in the portal, dudes from Michigan that they couldn't end up signing because they stayed in Ann Arbor. They go get Lawrence Seymour. We're still waiting about the Cole Hudson eligibility case. Maybe we'll get an answer this week or next about whether or not he could play. But whoever it is, they've got some options, but somebody has to step up. You don't need an All-American there. You don't need an All-Conference player there. You just need some stability. You need some consistency because that was a revolving door of players, and also it was a revolving door of which defensive lineman we're going to let hit Arch Manning. Can't have that.
No.
Can't have that. All right, so we'll dive back into this. More players with a lot to prove during fall camp. Again, players report tomorrow. Fall camp starts on Wednesday. We'll give a few more names and continue to talk about some position battles that we'll be paying attention to as we inch closer to the start of the 2026 college football season. All right, before we go anywhere else, Buck, how about our first round of sponsor shout-outs?
Start out with Hat Creek Burger Company. It's always a place where good food, good folks, and a whole lot of fun. I went by this weekend and saw tons of kids at the playscape. They were acting like school's almost back in session. They were just burgering down, milkshakes down, fries all over the place. The Hat Creek Burger has over 30 locations in the state of Texas, folks. And they have great playgrounds, as I said, for the kids and happy hour for the adults there. By the way, the adults were enjoying themselves with margaritas there in the evenings when I went this past weekend. But Hat Creek Burger, folks, is a great place. It has great food, queso fries out there for you. At Hat Creek Burger Company, there's something for everyone, believe me.
Yes, indeed. Love Hat Creek Burger Company, and also love our new friends at Kalshi.
Oh, yeah.
Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifted the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you could trade those predictions in a live market. Will the Texas Longhorns qualify for the college football playoff this season? Right now, the Longhorns are trading at a 67% probability, meaning a $100 trade would pay out $146 if the Longhorns clinch a playoff spot. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position, trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code Bucky to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. I don't know where my camera went. There's where my camera went. We are back. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
So you can't be a kid. You got to be over 18 years old to mess with Kalshi, correct?
Yes, indeed. Sorry about that, kids. No trading for you.
Sorry about that, kids in the car line. You can't jump on the Kalshi and make anything and make any moves there for the classroom. Sorry about that.
Save the trades for the parents.
Yes, very nice. And our good friends over at Sue Patrick, since 1975, the incredible selection of Longhorn apparel. They've got the hats. They've got the shoes. They got the luggage. They got the look. I got the T-shirts. I got my scheduled T-shirt on today.
Nice.
They've got a wide variety of men's and women's clothing in all sizes. Sue Patrick offers free shipping on online orders of $59 or more and free curbside pickup. But what they do have is plenty of parking space if you want to go there and see it for yourself. It's nice to see it on the catalog, but it's nice to be in person to check it out yourself. Plus, you want to meet the wonderful folks that they have working over at Sue Patrick. for the last 50 years. Now, I don't know if some of them have been there for 50 years. There's some of them that aren't 50 years old, except for Jay and Sue. But I love Sue Patrick, folks. Go over there and check it out. See everything that you want to see. Pick up a jelly cat or two while you're there. They've got the jelly cats back in order just for you. Of course, it's Sue Patrick. For more information, just go to SuePatrick.com, folks.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, my family was in town over the weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
And they stopped by Sue Patrick.
Anything left? Anything else? Anything available? Are the hats all gone?
There's a lot that's probably gone. And I got a little niece who just turned 1. She's rocking a new Longhorn baby T-shirt.
Nice.
Cute as can be. So they got clothes for all shapes and sizes. And I think my dad was body shaming Jay a little bit, just like you do, you know.
Really?
I don't think so. Jay was accusing you of doing that, though. That's for sure.
Of course he was.
That's
and it only takes us about 15 minutes into the show to start body shaming.
Yeah, I love our friends at Sue Patrick, the best of the business. And a quick shout out to the Altstadt Brewery, the best brewery in the state of Texas. Not just my words. It's been voted that twice here in 2026. If you're looking for something to do here in the summertime, how about a quick trip down to Fredericksburg and check out the Altstadt Brewery? It's awesome. It's the perfect day trip for the beer drinkers in your life. Look, a lot of folks are planning trips to Fredericksburg, just a little getaway without having to get on a plane. If you're planning something down there, make sure you stop by the Altstadt Brewery. They've got live music every weekend. They've got an indoor venue. They've got an outdoor beer garden. They've got great food, serve all sorts of European cuisine by a former Michelin star chef. They've got plenty of samples, of course, of the Altstadt beer. That's right. You really want to go. But it's a fun day trip, again, for the beer drinkers in your life. Maybe that's you. Check out their website, altstadtbeer.com. You can look at the schedule of concerts and events that they've got coming up there. And then, of course, in the meantime, wherever you are in the great state of Texas, you can get your Altstadt beer, bars, restaurants, grocery stores, liquor stores, wherever you shop. Make sure you shop the best. That's Altstadt Beer. No impurities, no regrets.
And once again, this year, folks, for all of our games, home and away games, how about this? Ariat boots and a pair of jeans to go with the boots. We usually would give out a pair of boots and maybe a hat from Cavender's. We're going boots and jeans this year, home and away games. So, and look to hear us very soon tell you where we'll be going for our away games. You know, our home away from home when we do games. For our home games will be at Schultz's Beer, Zigarunde Hall, in the air conditioning, not out there in the heat, not on the stage. Come inside, sit down, have a great meal over at our good friends there at Schultz's Beer Garden and enjoy yourselves. But we're going to be there for the home games, and we'll be telling you about a new spot that we'll be at for away games.
Yes, indeed. Big things coming up for what we all think and expect will be a big year of Texas Longhorn football, and we all hope to be descending upon Vegas next January.
Vegas, baby.
Watching the Longhorns play for a national championship from our lips to God's ears, please.
Looking forward to it.
All right, well, diving back into the Texas football fall camp conversation. Look, you want like this Texas roster is really good, really talented, plenty of reasons for optimism. Plenty of reasons to feel like Vegas at the end of the year is a legitimate possibility, but not everything's perfect. This team still has questions to answer, just like every team around college football does. And some of these answers that get figured out in fall camp will directly impact whether or not the Longhorns can make a serious run at a national title this year. And I'm thinking about some position battles. Look, we know Arch Manning's the starting quarterback. There's no mystery or intrigue there. We know Trevor Goosby's the left tackle. There's no mystery or intrigue there. There's certain positions where you just know who the starter is and kind of what the pecking order looks like. But there are a few position battles, Buck, that I will be paying very close attention to over the next month or so. And we've kind of talked about two of them, right? Left guard, I brought up the name Lawrence Seymour as a player with the most to prove, whether it's Seymour or Jackson Christian or Jaden Chapman or Devin Coleman or Andre Kojo or Cole Hudson, if he's allowed to play. Like, that's a position battle worth monitoring. We talked about safety a little bit too, right? Who's the other guy besides Jelani McDonald who Blake Gideon and Mark Orfe and Will Muschamp feel really good about? We talked about tight end as well. You brought up Nick Townsend as the first on your list of players with the most approved during fall camp. I'm fascinated to see what happens with the running back room. Now, this is a different battle, if you will, than any of the other positions that I just mentioned. This is not like we're trying to figure out who's good enough to start. This is, you've got multiple guys who are good enough to start You're just trying to figure out exactly what that room looks like. Is it a true 1A, 1B situation? Or can Hollywood Smothers or Raleek Brown separate themselves during fall camp? And then I think the number one question that Longhorn fans continue to ask is, what about the freshmen? Like, is Derek Cooper ready to make a real impact? Like, I'm not thinking about Texas State. I know that's game one. I fully expect Derek Cooper to play in that game. But, like, can he do enough? Has he done enough to this point? And can he do enough between now and the start of the season to show Sark and new running backs coach Jabbar Jalouk that he is worthy of real carries in a massive game in just the second contest of his college career?
Well, he'll have to do it in game one in order to get to do it in game two. I mean, when he gets his opportunity in game one, he has to really, really flash. He has to show the fans, his coaches, that 11 on 11 with another uniform on the other side, even if it's Texas State, that he can do that in that kind of situation. Because no matter what, there's still going to be 100,000 in the stands. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. It's not like there's going to be 10,000 there, and he can, like back at his high school or whatever. No, there's going to be a big crowd there, and his opportunities will come in game one. And those opportunities you have to take advantage of. When Ricky played in his first game in Hawaii, he showed you all the things that you heard about Ricky Williams in game one was like, well, we see it at practice a little bit. That's when the media could come to practice and they could see him run around and run 100 yards against his own teammates. But what happened when he played against Hawaii, another team, wasn't a great team, Hawaii. But then again, we weren't a great team either. But what he did was he went for over 100 yards, a couple TDs, a screenplay here or there. But you saw what he was capable of doing against competition and making guys miss and running guys over. So this kid will have to do the same, even against the competition at Texas State, in order to get on that field the following week. When he gets his opportunity and he gets snaps, he can't run up into the line and you say, well, that's a nice run. I mean, he has to flash. Yeah. And he should flash against Texas State if he's a five-star kid. If he gets in there, he should make big things happen. But I think, like you say, in all positions, BK, I came into when they went into the portal and got to the two guys that I saw, Brown, I thought, reminded me a little bit of Priest. He had the ability inside and he ran tough inside. Smothers reminded me, I'm not going to say Ricky. That would be silly. No, he didn't remind me of him, but he was the more physical type of runner, coming from NC State. I'm thinking he's the guy that they're really going to depend on for those hard runs, but he does have the ability for some long runs. But Brown is the guy who has the ability to shake and bake you and go the distance. Plus he's strong. And the more I saw of him, the more I said, he's got really good strength too. But the freshman will have to show you something very early for them to feel, or he's just going to get, a couple snaps here or there as the season goes on. But he can make himself known to everybody in game one. And he should.
There's a headline right there. Hollywood Smothers is the next Ricky Williams, said by the
Bucs. He was the most physical of the two backs until you watch Brown a little bit more. As I saw more of him in his film, it's like, no, this guy's pretty physical inside the tackles.
Yeah. You know how the press works, though. Well, we're going to turn that into you saying.
No, don't turn that into.
Just doing my job as a Big J journalist, man.
But I do believe he will be the most consistent guy that they'll lean on early.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how that works. And Steve Sarkisian's basically told us, like, this is not a bell cow and everyone else fighting for scraps situation. Look, I mean, that's kind of been obvious. You don't spend the amount of money to go get both of these guys if one of them's going to be on the bench. Like, this will be a split backfield. But I am curious, like, if one guy truly separates himself, because I feel like the locker room knows. It's typically a conversation with quarterbacks, right? A quarterback competition. Right. The locker room knows who the better quarterback is. I feel like the locker room is going to know if one of these running backs is significantly better than the other one. I don't think that's the case. They're both really, really good. But I do wonder, okay, who gets the first carry week one? But more importantly, in the Ohio State game, who's the guy that Sark and Jalouk trust the most in that room to pick up big yards?
I'll say this. I don't think Jalouk's going around telling his other running backs that this freshman is better than you guys before he even plays against competition that's not, on the field that is at University of Texas. I mean, he couldn't do it like when I said to Ricky to all these other guys that guy's better than you guys. You guys are going to have to work harder. I don't think he's telling that to two guys coming out of the portal who are veteran players. I don't think that Cooper's that much better than those guys.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because you talked about Ricky's first game, but clearly you saw something in practice. I know you saw it in high school. I've heard you talk about it before, but like, what do you, as a running backs coach, need to see from a freshman player before the first game to be like, oh yeah, no, I can feel good about putting this guy in and he's not going to cause any problems for us?
I think most of the time, the first time that guy lowers his shoulder on a defender, I mean, well, not just the first time, but the first couple times where somebody comes up and is thinking about playing patty cake with him running the ball through the line, and he dips that shoulder on you and you go flying backwards, or the first two guys that make contact with him, he spins off of those guys and continues to go. That's when I knew he could pick up the blitz. I mean, I remember 7-man sled. I saw him, that was part of my deal. And then the first guy that blitzed, I mean, he just lays them out. That was a lot that from your freshman, from a freshman year, and then coming from a senior in high school, that you have to learn. You have to pick up guys that are a little bit heavier than you are, that are blowing snot out of their nose, that want to show you you're just a freshman. Here's what I'm going to do to you when it's my time to blitz. Because I got to prove something to my defensive coaches over here too. I'm not going to let some freshman, take me out. Well, Ricky just stepped up in there and he just would stop guys. He wouldn't even have to lower his shoulder. He would just put his two hands up just like a tackle and go, just bench press them, and they weren't going anywhere. And then he would just ride them over the legs of somebody or across, or just pancake them down to the ground. I mean, that's when you knew. But generally it's that first couple runs where he comes through the line clean, and here comes a linebacker or a secondary guy. It's even better when the guys from the secondary, who talk a lot of smack anyway, talk about what they're going to do to a guy like that. Oh, he's just a freshman. And all of a sudden he dips his shoulder on them, and, they go down and they lose about 2 inches on their height, because he just took their neck and just squatted it into their shoulder pads. So you can tell. And then, the first one is just totally, he can make just miss.
Yeah.
You can tell when you make a guy, it's even better when they make you miss in the hole. Just absolutely, you get up there and some linebacker's got his head up, doing all the right technique, but they just seem to just miss. It's like they fainted, like they really didn't want that contact. Well, it wasn't that they didn't want it, they just couldn't have it.
Yep. So you're making it sound like it's just stuff that you see and it's like so obvious to everybody.
It's stuff that you see on film. It's stuff that you see that guy was doing to high school kids, that when he walks up to this level, he's doing the exact same thing that he did to those 160 pounders that thought they could tackle him. If he wants you to miss him, he'll make you miss him. Or if he wants to stick that big thigh out there with that thigh pad on and put that inside into your chops, and you start moving backwards, it's quick. But this kid will have to do that in game one in order to get into game two. If he's in game one, BK, and he's just kind of okay, and people see that, oh, he's that's a nice guy, he's going to be good later on down the line. He ain't getting in game two against Ohio State. They're going to use those two veteran players. But if this dude shows something, and all of a sudden that guy's going down the sideline for 60, he broke a couple tackles and he's gone, he'll be in game two. He'll prove himself. It doesn't take much for a running back. The same thing with a wide receiver. A guy catches the ball across the middle. Next thing you know, he's going down the sideline because he outruns everybody. He jukes one guy and he outruns him. That guy's getting in game two. That's Bishop. That's the kind of guy that I'm expecting to see him catch a ball across the middle, sidestep a guy, and then he's gone and not getting caught. That's the guy that's getting in game two against Ohio State. You can do all that stuff at practice that you want, but it's when you get in the games with 100,000 out there and everybody's excited about you, because the coach will be excited about you, the fans are excited about you. So I just don't see it as him getting, there's so many of those running backs. 2 of them are really good, and you went out and paid a lot for them, and they're really good players. They're all conference players. They're good. They have experience already, but you have to set yourself apart. And like I said, I don't think the running back coach is telling those other guys that this guy is already better than you guys. I don't think we're not to that point yet.
Well, you gave the real talk answer of what you want to see from a freshman running back before you feel good about putting him into big spots. But I think, almost the coach speak kind of answer, the things that a coach maybe typically would want to see from any player, but especially at that position. I think it's three things, Buck. Number one, you got to know the offense, right? Like,
Right.
do you know where you're supposed to be on every single play? Can we run the offense we want to run with you on the field? And can we trust that you're going to be in the right spot? Number two, you talked about it. And this is something I know it bothers you when it doesn't happen. And we've heard this at times from Texas in the Steve Sarkisian era for why a running back may not play as much as maybe you think he should. Blitz pickup. You talked about it with Ricky. Like, you saw it right away. The first practice, someone tried to, blow him up, and he's like, he stood there, he stood tall, he wasn't scared, he picked up the block, and I'm sure that gave you some confidence.
And most of that is recognition, BK. It's not so much of are the guys scared to pick up the blitz. It's recognition, knowing that that's your guy, knowing that when he comes, you meet him before he meets you, that you're there for him and say, hey, listen, I know you're coming. I know this is my guy, and letting everybody around know that no matter what, I know the guy that I'm supposed to get, because you can't have guys coming clean on your quarterback. You won't ever get to play. And all you got to do is have some hit on Arch Manning because the running back mistakenly got the wrong guy or thought the offensive lineman was supposed to pick him up. No, that's your guy. We've been over this numerous times. You pick up the wrong guy and Arch Manning gets hit, dude, you may be sitting on that bench for a long time.
Be careful with the phrasing there. No one coming clean on the quarterback.
Oh, no.
Family show, man.
You just can't have that happen. And along with all the physical attributes that Ricky had, he was just one of the smartest players I ever coached. I mean, he knew the assignments for everybody. Except for the quarterback where he would, where he'd initially have to throw the ball. He knew the other running back's position. He knew where the tackle had to go. And a defense, you could put the defense up. He would know that guy has that guy. He has that. I know I got that guy. And if that guy comes, he belongs to me. And I'm about to punish him. And if I got to block a big guy on the outside, I'm not going to run out there and cut block him and have him step over me and kill my quarterback. I got to face him up. Whether he's 30 pounds heavier than I am, I got to face him up. I got to move my feet. You know what? And if I have to hold him before he hits my quarterback, I'll grab his jersey because I can't afford to have my quarterback hit.
Don't touch the quarterback.
Running backs do not dive block on running guys. Guys blitzing in the A gaps, do not dive at their legs where that guy steps over you and then he's at the legs of the quarterback. You go in there and take one right in the kisser.
Yeah, I like that. And then I would say the last one, Buck, and this is kind of obvious, but I think it's true. You got to prove that you can hold on to the football. Like, it's too valuable. And look, I think everybody, regardless of if you're a freshman or if you're a senior, like, okay, if you keep coughing up the rock, then you're not going to play. But I feel like your leash is shorter as a freshman, or it's like you play week one, talk about that Texas State game, and Derek Cooper puts the ball on the turf. Like, that may be the end of him playing in week two against Ohio State.
I just have never had a fumble. I don't even know what to say about that. That was more so on drills that we did than I mean, I would never recruit. I would if a coach came to me and talked to me about a great runner and said, this guy is fabulous. He's had a couple fumbles here in his career in high school. And then he got to college and I went through what I went through and he still was fumbling. Well, hey guys, guess what? We're going to have to get another one because that guy's never going to play for me. You can't play if you can't hold on to the ball. That's like I said, with a receiver. How the hell did you get here and you can't catch? How'd you get to this level of football and get a scholarship here and you can't be consistent enough with your hands? How the hell does that happen? How the hell does that get recruited that way? I know there's some great things that you do, but number one thing that you have to do is catch a football. And the number one thing, as you said, for a running back is you have to protect the football because that's what everybody's coming to get.
Yep. And I think about, we've seen a couple of examples of fumblers at the running back position the last couple of years, right? Like 2 years ago, Jaden Blue was that guy. Now, Jaden Blue still played a lot. He was so dynamic, and Texas could maximize and utilize his skill set in a couple of different ways. But going into 2024, everybody thought he was going to be the lead back for Texas, but he had the fumbleitis, and then Trey Wisner kind of stepped up, and he became the number one tailback that year, went for over 1,000 yards. And then Baby Rhino, Jarrett Gibson, like that was a guy, highly touted recruit out of high school. People were very excited about him when he got to campus. we had heard reports about fumbling during practice, and it translated to Saturdays too. But it
Yes.
was like they don't even trust this guy in practice. He can't get through a practice without putting the ball on the turf. So it's like, yeah, it's obvious it's not just this coaching staff. You talked about, I mean, it's the tale as old as time. If you're a running back and you can't protect the football, then we don't have a spot for you.
And once again, I don't have time to play games and have you walk around on campus with a football. Screw that. You just don't play.
That did bother you. I forgot about that.
Oh,
You didn't like that one very much.
that's just a waste of my time and your time having you walk around campus and think that's a joke. Because you may not think the guy who's got the ball doesn't think it's a joke, but everybody around you's laughing at you, on campus. How about just protecting the ball so you don't have to do that, dumbass?
Yeah, Jaden Blue was lucky that I wasn't a student at the same time he was, because I'm getting that ball out.
You're getting it out somehow. If he's going to have lunch, you're about to smash that ball down. Yeah,
I wasn't on campus to go to class. Like, I would have been there.
Just there to get the ball. You'd be there just to get the ball.
And I'd run. That's fast. You know what? I wasn't fast enough. I'd find a buddy who was really fast, strip the ball, hand it to him, and have him run right down to Moncrief and hand it to Stark. Look what we found.
Yeah, we took this off your boy here at lunchtime.
What happened? What happened?
No, I've never dealt with a fumbler. Like I told you, Steve Strahan played for 6 or 7 years with the Oakland Raiders at that time. Always ran with the ball in his left hand. He was left-handed, and he refused to put the ball in his right hand. Even to the side he would run, he would show the ball to the defender. And I'm like, what is the deal with you? You look goofy running right, and the ball is in your left hand where the defenders are coming from. I said, is that like your dominant hand? He goes, yes. I said, fine with me. Just don't fumble it. And he never had a fumble at Boston College for the 4 years that I coached him, and went on to play in the NFL for years with the Raiders. I mean, he wasn't a great one, but he ended up being a pretty tough fullback, and he carried the ball inside. I'm like, I don't care where you keep it, just don't fumble it.
Just hold on to the rock. Yep. So that's a big key for all of these guys, but especially Derek Cooper in his fight for playing time and to have some sort of significant role in his first season on the 40 acres. But I'm excited. I mean, to this point, it seems like he's done everything right, and hopefully that continues. And like you said, I expect him to get opportunities against Texas State in week 1. Can he shine in those moments, and can he force his way onto the field 7 days after that against Ohio State? I mean, look, I love the two-headed monster that Texas has with Brown and Smothers, but if you got 3 guys over the course of a long season, obviously if somebody gets hurt, okay, you don't have to change things up too much because you still have 2 that you feel really good about, but just 3 guys that you can rotate and keep everybody fresh over what you hope is a 16 or 17 game season. That would be huge for this Texas team if Derek Cooper can actually be ready to roll. And sometimes guys are. Like, I'm not comparing him to Bijan here, but sometimes you just know, like, you've got a freshman, it's like, oh, let's find a way to get this dude the ball. Sometimes it takes guys some time. We'll have to see. But if Derek Cooper is ready to go, then that's just a whole
like I said, if he has some success, he's going to be ready. In his mind, he's going to be ready to go because he's that talented of a recruit. And if he's ready to go, and if he becomes your goal line guy, and that guy can get you 2 yards because of the big body, then do that. I mean, Priest Holmes, Ricky hated it. Ricky could have had probably 15 more touchdowns if Priest didn't die from the 4-yard line and go airborne over the top of everybody, or he was just a counter running guy down at the goal line or in scoring zone. But I said Ricky would be like, he would run the ball all the way down there, and then I'd call on Priest, and Ricky would be like coming out of the game like, really? Is this what's about to happen? I said, hey, you need to score touchdowns from a longer distance then.
Yeah. Well, that could be Derek Cooper. Derek Cooper could be the Priest Holmes of this year's team because he's the biggest of those 3 backs.
Yeah, and if he's the biggest and strongest and makes himself skinny and can get you a first down or a touchdown that you're not running a toss sweep with, you're just going downhill with him, then so be it. I mean, that's his role, and his role keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Yeah, Raleek Brown and Hollywood Smothers both listed at 193.
Which is plenty big enough.
Plenty big enough, but Derek Cooper, the freshman, listed at 212. So that's 20 pounds right there. He's taller than those guys too. So again, I'm not trying to pigeonhole Derek Cooper here, and I'm not trying to say that Brown and Smothers can't run between the tackles and pick up tough yards, because they have over their careers, and their numbers in short yardage situations have been very, very good. But that's sort of, you just look at that, and there are a lot of people who are thinking, okay, maybe Derek Cooper has that role that you're talking about.
If it's not that role, and that guy is okay against Bobcat State there, and then the following week against Ohio State, he makes a couple big plays. If he's better than the other two, guess what? The other two are about to be the backups behind this guy. Care what I paid. I need to play my best player. And if he's the best player, and you see that, and he not only flashes, but he has success against Ohio State the first two games, then that guy is not becoming a role player. That guy's going to be the one that the fans go nuts with when he goes out in week 3 and then on the road against Tennessee. I don't care where it is. By the time you're done playing Ohio State, it doesn't matter until you get to like Georgia now. You know, it seems like that means you're ready to go.
Don't bring
You're playing against the best.
I was having a good day. Don't bring them up.
Yeah, I'm saying, to me, you can play against the best. If you get to Ohio State and you're doing more than just flash in the pan and you're making some big-time plays, then you're ready to go for me during the rest of the season. It's just I'm going to play the best player. And if that kid's the best player and he's better than the other two players, no matter where they came from or whatever the stats that they have, and that's your best player, that guy can't be sitting on the bench.
I agree. Make it a meritocracy. And as you always say, grass on the field, play ball.
Yeah. Hey, if he's good enough, he's old enough.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, that's your creepy line that you used. I didn't mean to give you a different one. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think they do enough with the wide receiver group. You can't be playing that kind of game with your running backs. Those guys, you got to get your best in there as protection. As a guy, I mean, if he can catch the ball coming out of the backfield, he's another big target. They got enough big targets. He just makes another nice target to go one-on-one against a linebacker who has to cover that guy.
Right.
And he can beat a linebacker, and that guy catches the ball and goes with it. That ought to be fun to see.
Well, you talked about wide receivers, and you brought up Jermaine Bishop Jr.'s name a little bit earlier. And, outside of Derek Cooper, it feels like that was the freshman who was most talked about during the spring and even through the summer as well. So, Jermaine Bishop Jr., another guy with some things to prove, and another guy that I'm fascinated to see over these next few weeks. I mean, we keep hearing that he's too good and too talented to leave on the sideline, but you just mentioned it. It is a loaded wide receiver room that Texas has this year, and it hasn't always been easy to crack the wide receiver rotation in the Steve Sarkisian era at Texas. Now, some freshmen have. Xavier Worthy did. Ryan Wingo did. So if you're really good, if you're that level of player, then you're going to find your way to play. But that's another guy, man, like how good, and it's a similar conversation where, okay, Jermaine Bishop's going to be on the field against Texas State. Does he look good enough to show the coaching staff that he deserves snaps? And not just like decoy, I'm going to throw him out there, but like real opportunities against Ohio State, plays that are called for him. That's another guy that I know every Longhorn fan, Buck, is super fascinated to see and hear about over these next few weeks.
Yeah, the oohs and woos by the fans make you as a coach go, there's some pretty knowledgeable folks sitting in those stands. Out of 100,000, there's got to be 5,000 of them that are pretty smart to seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So you got to get those type of players on the field. Those are the players that they make a difference. They make a difference every time they touch the ball. You got to be thinking that every time he touches, there's a chance that thing goes to the house, 10 yards or 90 yards. It's just, you got an opportunity to get that, and you got that, and that can't be sitting on the bench. That's got to be on the field.
Let me ask you this, Buck. Jermaine Bishop is 6 foot, 166 pounds. That's what he's listed at. How many guys did you coach at that height and weight back in your day?
Remember, I only coached running backs. I didn't have any running backs that size.
How many guys on the team were that height and weight back in the day?
Hell, Doug Flutie was shorter than that, but he weighed more than 166 pounds. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you who was like that. Kelvin Martin.
Okay.
Kelvin Martin at BC was like that.
It's a good comp. Take that.
Yeah, and that guy could absolutely fly. He was a great punt returner. I had 2 great punt returners. I had a kid named Brian Brennan that went on to play for the Cleveland Browns as a punt returner and a wide receiver. But Kelvin Martin was exceptional. He was in another world when it came to punt returning. He just set up guys as the ball was coming down before he even got the ball.
Yeah, that's and for Jermaine Bishop, look, we know Ryan Niblett, the punt returner here, he's the best in the country at that. But I think Jermaine Bishop down the line will be this team's punt returner.
I got to believe it. I mean, I like to see him back there returning kicks early.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he got opportunities in the spring. I think he'll get opportunities in practice here in the fall. And then, look, if Texas is up 35 points in the fourth quarter against Texas State and the Bobcats are punting, I think we'll see Jermaine Bishop back there. Like, I think they'll give him an opportunity.
Somebody else. You don't need to get your number one guy blown up.
Right. And I also, you brought up kickoffs. Like, look, for as good as Texas was in the punt return game, the Longhorns were number one in the country in punt return average last year. And we know Niblett had the 2 touchdowns and a number of other game-changing punt returns. Texas was, I think, 121st in the country in kickoff return average. Like, they averaged more yards per punt return than they did kickoff return last year. Which, yes, tells you you're really good at returning punts. There's no doubt about that. They were awful at returning kickoffs, and it was the same guy on a lot of them. So they got to find something to get better at kickoff returns. Obviously, a lot of times it's touchbags, and that's null and void. But when they actually do get chances to return kicks, it'd be nice if, whether it's Niblett or Jermaine Bishop, or they put Raleek Brown back there, maybe you have 2 of those guys back there, whoever it's going to be.
I can see Raleek Brown because he reminds me of a guy who's got that kind of ability. You know, he's only had to make one cut, he makes a decision, there's the hole, and he goes. He reminds me of a guy that can do that. Like I said, the more I watched him on film, the more I started to get really impressed with him, because early it was all about Smothers when I watched his film because of his strength and his ability to run between the tackles. But the more you watch Raleek Brown, he started to really that's a guy who can be a long run, a big-time hitter right there. So I would think, if you got a wide receiver that can do it, you need to get him back there and get him go. Now, that's the stuff that you start to believe in early. Against Texas State, get him out there as the opening kickoff return. So be it. He makes a mistake on, should I have kept it in or brought it out? And he brings it out, and he gets crunched, but he holds on to the ball. I mean, you got to live with that. You're still not supposed to get beat by them because your guy got crunched at the 15. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Guy
gets crunched at the 15. We'll turn it into an 85-yard touchdown drive then,
There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're absolutely right. That shouldn't bother you from putting him back there again and again. As long as he holds on to the ball, he'll start seeing some things, that he hadn't seen before. And once he gets it, I mean, it's like Ryan Niblett. That dude has now got it down to how he sets up people, ahead of time, where he's already seeing where the guys come down. He's watching the film. And he's not just watching how the punter punched the ball, but he's watching how the guys come down, who's in the right lane, which guy's making a mistake. They're doing those type of things with him.
Yeah. Well, Jeff Banks scouts a lot. Like, some special teams coordinators, they have a different job as a different position coach, and that occupies the majority of the time. I mean, Jeff Banks watches film. He looks for things every week that other teams do. So sometimes there's some luck. Sometimes things have to break your way. But a lot of Texas's success in the punt return game and on special teams has been because of the work that Jeff Banks has put in. But, yeah, you got to get better at kickoff return. Like, special teams has not always been consistent. You've got some high highs, but you've had way too many low lows, and you would like to cut out the negative plays like the onside kick against Georgia or the, punt block safety against Florida. Like, you want to keep the good but have less of the bad. So all these things come into play here, but kickoff return last year was a bad. So hopefully this offseason they figured out a way to turn that into a good.
And dude, if you want to get on the plane and go on trips, you know what? You got to do that stuff on the special teams. You got 12 tight ends. 10 of you are going to be on special teams in every way.
Yeah.
You're good enough athletes. You got a scholarship to Texas. You ought to be able to block on the kickoff return or get down there, or guys coming off the corner that have exceptional quickness and block a punt every once in a while. You got to have some specialists that, hey, they got here for a reason because they have quickness, they have length. They have to make your special teams better. You're right. The special teams, that's a part of, the Indiana's winning the national championship, the Miami's. They have special guys. There's some special guys that make you fear them. You have to make you have to have guys that make the other opposing team scared of them.
No doubt. And look, Texas, I mean, Jeff Banks and Steve Sarkisian have proven that they are not afraid to put the best players out there on special teams. Like, you're right. You've got those depth athletes and guys that, hey, if you don't have a role on offense and defense, shouldn't you be doing something on special teams?
Yes.
But this group has not been afraid to put some really, really good players in that third phase of the game. So I expect that to continue. I think Raheem Biles is going to be a special teams contributor. Jelani McDonald, we're talking about Raleek Brown potentially returning kicks. That guy could be your number one running back. So, yeah, they've got, they'll put out the best players too, because they care about special teams and want that to be a difference maker. And it could be like a national championship. You talk about those great teams. Texas is going to be playing a lot of close games this year against this brutal schedule. That third phase, it's felt like it's cost Texas games instead of help Texas win games. You want it to be a reason that you win games this year.
Yeah, you want to put on the thing about special teams, so you always have to be careful. You want to put great athletes on if you can, but you also want smart guys on your special team.
Yeah, that matters.
Yeah, you can't have dopey guys out there creating holding penalties and grabbing guys and not being in the right lanes because they think they can get back. They can do it their way and get back to where they're supposed to be. You gotta have smart guys on the special teams too.
We've had some.
I mean, the guys that block for the punch, those guys up front, I mean, they got to be able to count. That's my guy. That's my guy. If he moves in this gap, he belongs to me. It can be pretty complicated. So you can't have a dope out there playing either.
So I couldn't play special teams. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you could do that reverse from the 2-yard line. All you got to do is just pivot and go back, and they hand you the ball. And I think you could take the handoff.
Right. Yeah. If you smoke dope, you can't play special teams. I think that's what you're saying. Oh, man. All right. We'll dive back into this. We got some Texas recruiting to talk about as well, as the Longhorns landed a big-time 5-star over the weekend. We'll talk about what it means and got some clips to play for the Bucs. So we'll get the Bucs breakdown and what he sees from Landon Williams-Callis. But before we continue, how about another round of sponsor shout-outs?
Folks, my bad back, searching for the right support for years. Nothing gave me the comfort that I needed. And then I discovered Relax the Back, pain-free soul. Relax the Back embraces a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle. As I said, my back couldn't be happier. Their motto is to live wellness. They want you to sleep, reimagine. They want you to enjoy your life. And they want you to have an opportunity to have a healthy back. And before it starts to get bad, they want to get you over to their store and check out their zero-gravity recliners, all the accessories that they have, Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Try the pillows. Pillows don't work for the buck, but some of those Tempur-Pedic pillows may work for you. I've got my beat-up old pillow that I've been using. And, yeah, by the way, my back is still bad with that beat-up pillow. But you can try out their Tempur-Pedic pillows. They've got it all. They have different types of pillows available for you. But they've got 2 wonderful locations. One is in the Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck at Relax the Back. I had my vibrating ball on this morning.
There we go. Get the vibrator out.
Got it out.
Good way to start the week right there.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Nice little vibration. Make you feel a little something. I like that. Love Relax the Back. Also, shout out to another new partner here on the Bucky.
Yeah, man.
Roger Beasley Mazda.
Roger that.
Roger that. Hey, in sports, dynasties aren't built overnight. They're earned year after year. That's why Mazda South stands apart with 30 consecutive Mazda President's Club Awards and recognized as the #1 Mazda dealer in the entire state of Texas. The folks at Mazda South have set the standard for excellence. Whether you're driving down Mopac, parking at HEB, or headed to a Texas football game, you're going to see Mazdas everywhere. Chances are a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, somebody you know drives a Mazda, and that's a testament to Mazda's legendary reliability, backed by the trusted name of Roger Beasley. You can't beat the quality, the customer service, or convenience of Roger Beasley Mazda. About 55 years serving Central Texas, and they are still growing. Texas's #1 Mazda dealer, that's Mazda South. They gave me a Mazda CX-5 loaner to drive for a couple
How's that ride?
They're not getting it back, dude.
Yeah, whatever happened to the old one that you had? What was that thing you were driving?
The old Altima.
That's gone. That's gone to rest, huh?
That thing's gone. Yeah. And Roger Beasley, the great team down there. Again, they gave me like a souped out 2026 CX-5.
Sweet.
The Premium Plus. And it's like, you can have it for a few weeks. I'm like, I didn't tell him, but I'm thinking I'm going to make a run for the border in that thing today.
Hell yeah, man.
It is so nice, man. And the people at Mazda South are incredible. Shout out to Brett and Bryant and Dee at the front desk. She's incredible. And Ryan, great people. Go see them. I-35 just south of Highway 71. It's Roger Beasley Mazda South.
Folks, if you're seeking specialized patient-focused orthopedic care, rehabilitation, then contact the experts at Texas Orthopedics. Their physicians offer comprehensive surgical and non-surgical orthopedic care for children and adults. As I said, rehab, spinal care, sports medicine, joint replacement, rheumatology, and more. And we've got two of our former Longhorns, Dr. Danny and Dr. Stockton, working there. They've got a lot of dedicated orthopedic surgeons there. As I said, it's not always about the surgery. It could be about the rehab, helping you as you are that weekend warrior, pickleball king out there with all the pickleball queens. Folks, they are dedicated orthopedic surgeons. Their goal is to get you right back into good health and the great quality of life that you deserve. Texas Orthopedics is the largest independent orthopedic practice in Central Texas. For more information, please go to txortho.com.
Did you say pickleball king?
Yeah, or court jester. There he is right there, the court jester.
Shout out Wags.
I feel bad for the people. I feel bad for the people on the other court looking over and going, is he okay?
I feel bad for that court having to take that impact.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Shout out to Wags. Shout out to AV Consultations, our guy Tom McKay. Of course, boys with Wags. Look, we love Tom McKay. He's boys with all of us. And I'm on the schedule. I'm moving this week and this weekend.
Sweet.
And I told Tom, I was like, I get the keys on Friday, so you're going to be there next week, right? And he's like, done. It's kind of customer service you get with AV Consultations. I'm on the schedule, ready to get hooked up once again. And, hey, it's time for you to get on the schedule because football season is right around the corner. We got football this week. We're going to talk about the NFL Hall of Fame game. We got some betting advice to give you people. Yeah, I said it. You got to make some money on this thing. AV Consultations, look, upgrade your home TV setup by the time the real season gets here. We're just 33 days away from Texas football. Easy for me to say. Call AV Consultations. Get the big screen. Get the man cave, the woman cave, the she shed, the patio setup, whatever. The screens, the surround sound. They do it all. They've been hooking up Central Texas since 1988, and they can do the same for you. avconsultations.com. That is their website. More importantly, give our guy Tom McKay a call, 512-255-8678. I'm telling y'all, this will be the best call you make all year. Do it today and thank us later. It's AV Consultations.
And, of course, our friends at Early Bird CBD. I'll be playing a little golf on Wednesday, so I have got to have my early bird drops, and I will have them just before I play. I give them about an hour before I play as I head to the golf course. I put them in my hydration drink, put them in my water now, and I'm having two droplets, two of those in there, BK, because you know what? 4 days afterwards, my knees, my ankles, my back still feels fantastic after early bird CBD. That's how it works for me. Now, I'm already cool and calm and laid back, so I don't really need it for that part of it because that's just the way I'm built. But I do need it for pain, believe me, because my dumb ass is walking. When I'm even in a cart, I'm still finding a way to walk 4.5 miles on a golf course, which seems kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem. Why don't you just carry your bag, fool?
I don't know. Just get a cart. Use the cart. I don't understand what you're doing. You have one, just use it. It's not cart path only. You take the cart to the ball.
You're right. You're right. And I get yelled at about it all the time. But what I don't get yelled at about it is waking up without moaning and groaning about my knees hurting from all that walking or my back hurting thanks to Early Bird CBD.
Get you the gummies, get you the drops. I take them to chill because I'm not like the Buck. I'm not naturally chill. So I need to relax. I need to unwind. I also take them to help me sleep. When you're traveling, everyone's traveling in the summertime, especially August. These are perfect. You want to take these with you because you're in a hotel bed or you're on a plane and you just want to relax and you're not comfortable. These will help take the edge off, help you relax, help you sleep. Love the Early Bird CBD. Go to their website, earlybirdcbd.com, and use the promo code Bucky. You're going to get 20% off your first order.
Sweet.
Buck, Saturday nights, all right for recruiting.
Very nice.
I think that's the old Elton John song, right? I don't know.
Close to it.
On Saturday night, the Longhorns got some really, really good news. Texas landed one of the biggest commitments of the entire 2027 cycle. 5-star running back Landon Williams-Callis committed to Texas, plays his high school ball at Richmond Randall in the Houston area, the 22nd commit for the Longhorns in this 2027 class. And Texas is back in the top 5 nationally. They slipped out because 5-star cornerback John Meredith III reclassified, right? So he's on this year's team
Right.
now. And because he's no longer a part of the 2027 class, and you take him out of the class, that means Texas's recruiting ranking dropped a little bit. But obviously you replace one 5-star with another 5-star. This guy is a supreme talent. 5'8", 190 pounds, the 3rd ranked running back in the country, the number 1 ranked running back in the state of Texas. And his high school recruiting numbers, like, I would call them video game numbers, but that feels disrespectful to Landon Williams-Callis. How about 3 years of high school ball? Of course, he still has his senior year to play coming up in a few weeks. 7,551 rushing yards and 125 touchdowns.
Dude, this dude is fast as can be.
Yeah, if you're watching the program right now, we've got some highlight tape from Landon Williams-Callis's high school career. Again, the first 3 years, he has been one of the most productive high school players in the country in his 3 seasons on varsity. And yeah, he is fast. He also 54 catches, 728 receiving yards, 7 more touchdowns. They'll line him up as a wildcat quarterback. They'll hand him the ball. They'll throw the ball to him. And this is a track speed guy, Buck. You noticed that right away. 10.4 100-meter time and a 21.8 in the 200-meter time. He's been a state qualifier in the 4x1 relay. So that's the kind of speed that you're looking for out of a tailback. But you could tell this is not a track guy playing running back. This is a running back with track speed.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's got great vision. I mean, they've run some misdirection in their offense and some counter plays, and he looks perfect because that guy needs a one-way go. But in some of the counters that they run, they give him a two-way go. You can either go outside or you can get up underneath. And plus he delivers. That's a 5'8" guy that looks like he's about 6'2" when he makes contact. And you don't get arm tackles on him, BK, which I like.
Yeah, and he stands up in the backfield. That's kind of a more modern thing. I think Ashton Genty does that a lot. He sort of brought it public or brought it to the mainstream where he's not in your traditional hunched over running back stance. Like, he's just kind of straight up. And once he gets the ball, though, he just takes off and goes.
I don't care if he's on one knee, except for when he touches the ball and it's down. He can stand anywhere he wants to.
He just looks like he's playing at a different speed than everybody else on the field. And it's 5A. It's not 6A, but we're not talking about like 6-man or 2A or 3A or whatever. Like, this guy is in the Houston area going up against pretty good talent on Friday nights. And again, he is just on a different playing field than everybody else out there.
Yeah, he runs like he doesn't have a football in his hand. He runs like he has the baton and a track meet in his hand.
Yeah. He's got a great feel for the game, good vision, sees lanes early. And I'm just thinking, obviously, he won't be here in 2026. I'm going to be paying attention to what kind of numbers he puts up as a senior. And by the way, this guy, he's got like his own following in the Houston area. There are apparently people who don't go to Richmond Randall, who like aren't related to Landon Williams-Callis, who will like look at where he's playing every Friday night, and they will drive there and buy a ticket just to go watch this dude play football. Like, that's some Vince Young stuff right there. That was happening to VY in high school. That's like TJ Ford stuff. Like, I'm not saying this is the next all-time legend at the University of Texas, but this guy has been so good. Again, the numbers speak for themselves. 125 touchdowns in 3 seasons. Like, people will literally go out of their way. Man, I went to high school with Corey Coleman, right? Like, good dude. Shout out Corey if you're listening. Went to Baylor, won the Biletnikoff Award, was a first-round pick in the NFL draft. People weren't coming out of their way or going out of their way to watch us play high school football on Friday. I say us like I played. I was in the stand. People weren't doing that to watch Corey Coleman. People are doing that to watch Landon Williams-Callis, which is crazy at that level.
Yeah, he's on. That team will be in the state finals. That guy can take you to the finals right there.
Yeah, I think they made a run to the finals this past year.
Yeah.
And I just think about the future of the Texas running back room. Look, obviously this year you've got Raleek Brown and you've got Hollywood Smothers as your top 2 guys, but both of those guys I think are likely departing after 2026. So you'll have Derek Cooper going into his 2nd season in 2027. You've got some other guys too. I mean, James Simon, Michael Terry III, Ryan Niblett, Jet Walker. Texas also has Noah Roberts committed in this class, but like, on paper, if you're just thinking about recruiting rankings, Derek Cooper and Landon Williams-Callis, that might be your future 1-2 in the running back room, and that's pretty damn exciting because both of these guys are supreme talents.
You don't have to bring up Michael Terry again.
Oh, sorry to.
He won't. Yeah, he won't. You don't have to worry about that.
Well, and then
these are guys that have played the position that are just they're ready to go. That kid right there would be ready to go. BK, I had that guy ready right there in week 1. Forget going to high school for the that guy can reclassify if he wanted to and be good enough. The way he runs, he's such a natural.
You like him that much?
Oh yeah, he's got some special stuff.
I love that. That's why I wanted to get your breakdown on this, man. That's exciting to hear. And again, 3rd-ranked running back in the country, the number 1 running back in the state of Texas. You talk about it all the time, right? Like, you're the University of Texas with all the history that this school has at that position. You want to make sure you keep the top guys in state. And I mean, look, Landon Williams-Callis, he had offers from everybody. When you're a 5-star and a top 30 player nationally, you're going to get that. But like, his other finalists were A&M, SMU, Houston. Mizzou was the one out-of-state finalist, but a lot of the real contenders here were in-state schools. So it's a nice recruiting win to get this guy over a bunch of other teams in the state of Texas that wanted him.
He's better than the Oklahoma runners right now. He would go there and that dude right there would make a difference in their offense right now.
Yeah, he was the top uncommitted prospect in the country. He was trending Texas for a while, but I will give new running backs coach Jabbar Jalouk a ton of credit here because this was not a recruitment that Texas led from start to finish. And, Chad Scott, the now former Texas running back coach, like he started recruiting Landon Williams-Callis. And, Buck, you know this. If you've got a position coach change for a player of this caliber, sometimes that's it. Like, you're out. Like, the guy's got offers from everybody else. He already has relationships with position coaches at everywhere else, and they're not going anywhere. So he doesn't want to – I don't need to start a new relationship. I don't want to go to that place if they're changing coaches. I'm good. Jabbar Jalouk, like right away from the moment he took this job, like resurrected that recruitment in the spring, got Texas back in the race. He took an official visit in June, and it sounds like that's what changed everything. Or Texas was sort of playing catch up to the front runner here.
And some of these great runners in the state of Texas, they know the history of Texas running back. They just know the history.
Yeah.
They only have to know 2 of them. Only have to know Ricky and Earl. They don't have to know 6 of them. They don't have to know Roosevelt Leaks and, Jamal Charles and some of the others that played here. They just know the history. And those 2 guys, that's all they need to know is that's where they came from. Hell, why wouldn't I go there? It's in my state.
Well, I'll add a third one, and this isn't an in-state guy, but I think he might resonate more with the younger crowd. It's Bijan.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him.
Like, Bijan's the best running back in the NFL right now. He is a household name. He's a guy that a lot of young running backs model their games after. So it's like, where did that guy go to school? And
you're right. You're absolutely
University
right.
of Texas. Now, he was a Tom Herman recruit. Sark coached him at the end. But
he went to Texas as a runner.
Exactly. So that's a 5-star who was from a different state, but still came to the University of Texas, got developed, was a top 10 draft pick, which for running backs is absurd, but that's what everybody wants to be at that position. And I think, obviously, you got Earl and Ricky. You should know how good those dudes are. But for the modern guy who wasn't alive when those guys were in college, having a Bijan to point to more recently, I don't think hurts Texas.
Yeah, it's like, that's why I can't understand Oklahoma with its history of runners. They're looking for.
Because it's Oklahoma. No one wants to go to Norman. That place sucks.
They're just looking for a sluggo to play running back there.
You don't want to deal with those people.
Come on, man.
Why would you go there?
You wouldn't. That's the thing.
How much
you wouldn't go
to
there.
do this job? To do this exact job where you still cover Texas, like you do the show with me, do the show for the Zone, like. How much would you have to get paid to pack up your things and go live in Norman, Oklahoma?
At this time of my life, there's not enough money to get me to do that.
Oh, there you go. That's why no running backs are going there.
I mean, seriously, and I'm being really, really serious. There's not amount of money that I would go and actually live there and have my wife go with me unless I was going alone.
Oh, you wouldn't do that to her?
I couldn't. It's not that I wouldn't. I couldn't. She would not be going. She would spend maybe 2 days there and say, later,
Yeah.
buckaroo.
Yeah, I think my girl would spend 0 days there and say later, buckaroo. If I just brought that thought up, she'd be like, you're on your own, kid.
You're on your own.
If you want to send me 50% of what you're making, I'll take that. But
I'll take that here, but I'm not going with you.
But I ain't going up there. So that's why people aren't going to OU, because it's Norman, Oklahoma, and you got to deal with those carnies up there.
Oh my gosh,
as you call them, the bearded ladies that we'll see.
They're going to be back. They're back. It's just around the corner. It's not that far away.
Not that far away. So huge pickup for Texas. Again, shout out to Jabbar Jalouk, totally resurrecting Texas's chances in this one. Obviously, Steve Sarkisian deserves credit. Chris Gilbert, Brandon Harris, the entire staff got this one done. But again, some of these recruitments, like Texas is in the driver's seat from start to finish, and it's smooth sail. And this was not the case with Landon Williams-Callis at all. But the Longhorns did enough in the spring and in the summer to where things have been trending Texas. It would have been a huge shock over the weekend if LWC picked somewhere else, but now the Longhorns get them in the fold, and probably a break in recruiting for a while. Like, most of our attention is going to shift to fall camp, which starts this week, and most of the coaching staff's attention is going to shift to fall camp and getting ready for the season. And again, there will still be recruiting news. There will be flips, and there's a couple other players that Texas will be evaluating during their senior seasons, but kind of feels like recruiting is going to hit a little bit of a pause, I think, for these next few weeks. But what a great exclamation point to sort of end the summer wave of recruiting, Buck.
Yeah, because we're right into high school, getting ready to go to camp too. I mean, guys are going to go to camp. I mean, some may decide that I don't want to be having this on me during football. Here's where I'm going to go. Leave me alone, the rest of you. But most of them are just going to play it out now.
I think today, if I'm not mistaken, one of you parents with a high school kid let us know, but I think today is the first official practice date of the season. And then the regular season will kick off, I think, final Friday of August, if I've got it right, for high school football around the great state of Texas. So, yeah, and guys are getting ready to go. And nowadays with the early commits and the early signing, look, there are coaches who want a signing period in the summertime before the season even starts. And maybe we get there eventually. But a lot of guys want to announce their commitments before their senior season begins so they can just focus on playing ball and not all the extra stuff that goes into recruiting.
Yeah, I mean, and as camp gets ready to be underway, BK, it looks like this is a healthy camp for guys to go into. We don't have a bunch of guys that will not be participating. I would think just about everybody's going to be participating.
There is one player who is not healthy going into fall camp, and that is freshman offensive tackle Caden Shearer, who wasn't really going to factor into the rotation anyways. No disrespect, just the 3-star freshman. He tore his ACL in the spring, so he's done for the year.
Yes,
but outside of that, everybody else on this team, awesome. knock on wood, and unfortunately that will change, but everybody else, there's no long-term injury issue that you have to worry about with anybody else right now. So you're about as healthy as you could possibly be going into a training camp.
Yeah, that is great. That's a great way to start right there.
No doubt about that. So we'll have practice reports later this week, which I cannot wait. Love list, love talking season. Love talking recruiting, love all this stuff that we've been talking about, but we love football for the football, and we're about to get actual football, which is great.
Do you see any other battles? We know we're talking about these battles. Do you see any real other battles that you seem to worry about? I mean, I think Brandon Baker is going to be. I'm buying on his ability to just be more comfortable inside. Well, not be comfortable right away, but it may take him a little bit of time. But you got more help in there, young man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about Brandon Baker moving to right guard. I thought he ended the season really well at right tackle. Now it is a new position, so it's fair to wonder how it's going to translate. But you do get a little more help in there. Now, he's not the biggest guy. He's a big guy, but not as big as maybe your stereotypical guard in the SEC. So you wonder, okay, is he going to be good enough to maul guys, enforce his will as a run blocker going forward? That, I guess, is a question that has to be answered and will be answered in week 2 when Ohio State comes to town. But I don't know. I don't worry about that. Like left guard is the one that I'm worried about. That's the one that makes me the most anxious, I guess, of any position
Yeah,
battle on the entire team. I don't know. Like safety, we talked about. One that doesn't make me anxious, but one that I'll be paying attention to is linebacker. Like Raheem Biles is definitely a starter, but Texas brought in Juice Cryer from Florida State. I think we all sort of thought that like it was going to be Biles and Anthony Smith as your two starting linebackers, and there will be
right.
times where all three of those guys are on the field. But because Smith missed the spring, recovering from offseason surgery, Cryer played really well, and he had a chance to make an impact, and he did. So, like, that's a good position battle where you've got two really good players, I think, fighting for that second starting linebacker spot when you've got your nickel defense out there. That's one that we haven't talked about that I'll be paying some attention to for sure.
Yeah, well, you got to have that because you got to have that depth right now because more so than the physicality of it. I mean, it's the heat right now. I mean, that's a lot. You're going to have a lot of snaps in this heat. Guys are going to need somebody to come in there, and when they step in, the new defensive coordinator is not going to want to miss a beat. He's not going to then all of a sudden start taking things slow because the starter's not in there. And this heat is going to wear guys out. You got to be very careful.
I am so glad we get to do this show inside, dude.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the first practice on Wednesday is at 2:30, by the way.
Nice.
Which, look, the first game this year is at 2:30, right? So get your guys ready for that schedule and get your guys ready for that heat.
Get yourself some rest. You better get yourself some sleep. And hopefully you didn't spend the summers up at 4 a.m. messing around, looking at your phone.
Me or the players?
I'm talking to the players. Spend their time looking at the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, getting your rest. Because this is where it shows if you're getting your rest or not right now.
Oh, yeah. They'll find out. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of run. Look, the pads don't come on until next week, so it's going to be a lot of conditioning stuff. And yeah.
And once again, the good thing about it is, I think over the last couple of years, we've really trusted in this staff when it comes to strength and conditioning, and they've been paying attention and they've been with these guys. These guys haven't been home very much. They've been around here.
And one of my favorite, like you think of the draft process, right? And these Texas players, when they go to the league, they get interviewed and they're like, yeah, we're not going to miss Torrey Becton's workouts.
Right.
Like they praise them like, hey, they're a huge part of why I'm here. But it's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to miss working out in July and August with that dude.
Yeah, really.
In the summertime. I'm good on that. This will be nice going to the NFL.
This is a break going into the NFL.
It might be. All right, we'll take your thoughts. The Coda text line, shout out Circuit of the Americas, 512-222-9328. The YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch live chats are rocking and rolling as well. We got some NFL conversation to dive into. The MLB Trade Deadline is today, so we will talk about that. But before we get to some of the other sports headlines from the weekend, Buck, how about another round of sponsor shout-outs?
There are friends over at Woods Comfort Systems, and speaking of hot, boy, you want to make sure your air conditioning is running properly. And if anything goes wrong, you don't want that thing to be off any degrees. You want it to work properly. And at Woods Comfort Systems, they've been doing it for 71 years. They will make sure that their technicians will get there fast and get to you. They've been doing it with air conditioning and heating. And now they're doing plumbing. So if there's any plumbing problems in your home or outside of your home, don't try it yourself. I've been told not to do it. Hell, I've been told not to do a lot of things. And especially when it comes to the air conditioning system or the plumbing, let us do it. Woods Comfort Systems will get it done, folks, and they'll get it done right. And nobody does it better than folks at Woods Comfort Systems.
WoodsComfortSystems.com is their website, 512-842-5066, the phone number to call. Yes, indeed, the very best at what they do. Speaking of best at what they do, McCall Custom Homes.
Oh, yeah.
Our guy, Mike McCall, and his great team at McCall Custom Homes. They're custom home builders and remodelers here in Central Texas. If you've always been thinking about your dream home, well, now is the time to make it happen. If you like your current space, but you really want to spruce it up and take it to another level, now's the time to make it happen. Why? Well, because McCall Custom Homes is here for you. Free estimates for Bucky and BK listeners. So you can have our guy Mike out to your place and tell him what you want to do. He'll tell you what he can do. And then boom, you can go from there. They're the best. It's a father-son team with more than 4 decades of experience, and all of that experience has been right here in Central Texas. So they know what it takes to turn a Central Texas home into something truly, truly special. A+ rated by the BBB, Tons of 5-star reviews online. The Buck talks about him all the time. Like Mike said, his place every day. I think he's got like a spot in your guest room now at this point. At least he should, with how often he's there. Call CustomHomesATX.com or call or text our guy Mike directly. Great dude, big Longhorn fan, big listener. 512-633-9580.
Love him.
Yes, indeed. And all right. See, our guy CB is so good, Buck. Like, this is something we talked about today. And look at what he sent. He's already got today's paper. The Austin American Statesman. Headline. Bucky Godbolt thinks Hollywood Smothers is the next Ricky Williams.
What is he doing?
What is he doing? That's what you said. Your words, not his.
I didn't say that.
Wow.
I didn't. No, he's not even. He's only 200 some pounds.
Look, man, this is a real headline.
I'm not calling him Baby Bull or any of that other stuff either.
Go Baby Rhino for Jared Gibson.
Whatever, yeah, that move. Yeah, Baby Rhino. Where's he playing at, Florida A&M?
Where did Jared Gibson end up? Not Florida A&M. You were trying to send him to FAMU. It's almost as bad. It's Purdue.
Oh my God, it's worse.
Oh, God. You did make the claim that Jared Gibson was the next Ricky Williams. I will give you that.
Oh, my God, he was horrible. How that guy ever got here, I'll never know. Somebody just went on numbers there, that's all.
Well, he was a 4-star recruit and a top, I think, 5 or 6 running back in his class coming out of high school, and he had offers from everywhere.
I'm just talking crap. I've brought worse. I've recruited worse.
It happens. Sometimes the recruiting rankings are wrong, and sometimes what you hear from people is wrong, and sometimes your own eyes can let you down.
My eyes let me down as long as I didn't bring any fumblers here, but that dude was coughing it up all over the place.
That guy was a fumbler for sure.
He was. He was not good.
Not good.
He ran very timid. He ran kind of timid.
So you're saying he didn't deserve the Baby Rhino nickname?
Yeah, of course he did not. When that came out, I was like, what did he do? Knock a bunch of stuff over in a jewelry store or something? Knock down the shelf by accident? Is that why they call him the Baby Rhino?
Baby Chihuahua is perhaps a more apt nickname.
Maybe. People make mistakes. You can't get them right all the time.
You get them right all the time.
No, you really can't. I did not get them right all the time. I just got them right most of the time.
We'll take that.
Yeah, but you just don't get them right all the time. Sometimes you bring a guy and you think you can be the difference. You can be like the new coach at Kentucky. I can make the difference. I'm the reason why we're going to be good. I've done that before and found out, guess what? You're not that good either.
You're not that guy, pal.
Yeah,
You're not that guy.
I brought a couple to Texas like that too. That eventually somebody looked at me and go, "Really, Bucky? You went to the Metroplex and you brought that guy here? Like, I didn't have any running backs. What do you want me to do? I had to have somebody."
They should have given you more money in a JanSport backpack to pay somebody better. That should have been your response.
We weren't playing those games at that time. I never played that game.
All right.
I never played that game. Never
Whatever
played that.
You say, guy.
Any of them, Ricky, Priest, never played that game.
Think about how good of a coach you could have been if you were just playing the game.
Whoa, if I
Come on, man.
What if I'd have been in the South, back in the old Southwest Conference? Man, I could have played that game.
You could have played that game.
I could have, but I just no, then they wouldn't have done what I needed them to do. Hey, they wouldn't have minded what I told those people to do. Once you start playing that game, you're stuck in that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once you pay them once, they expect more, right? The
guy who had to get paid was the guy who was playing the game. That's who had to get paid. No credit cards here. Cash only, homie.
Cash only. Straight cash, homie. Straight cash.
Absolutely.
Buck, we've got football this week, man.
Like real football?
Real football. This Thursday, August 6th, 20 and 26, 3 days from now, we will all, emphasis on all, be locked into NBC to watch the Carolina Panthers take on the Arizona Cardinals in the opening game of the 2026-27 NFL season.
You know, I very seldom miss that Hall of Fame game, no matter who's playing. This may be my break over the last 25 years right here. This may be my chance.
To take a break?
Who wants to watch that?
I do.
Who wants to bet on that?
I do.
Come on, man.
That sets the tone for your entire football season. I say this every year. I'm going to trade with our friends on Kalshi. Like, this is it. If I get this one right, then I'm going to have, and my cousin's going to have a great season. If
I am
wrong,
now working.
It's over.
I'm working to get that house in Colorado. So for you people, we are going to make some coin. Wherever the buck goes, you know, when it comes to football, do not mess around. And don't be playing preseason games and messing around and losing. Save your money for me so that I can help you win. We will win together, and we will have that beautiful home in the mountains of Colorado outside of Beaver Creek, Colorado.
We will have the home. Are you buying a place and you're going to share it with everyone who listens to the show?
Oh, but they can buy a home in some other neighborhood that's miles away from mine.
Oh, you don't even want them in your neighborhood? You're too good for them? It's a man of the people you are.
I don't want those people in my neighborhood.
Oh, the mullets, the great mullets who tune in to our show.
I will pass on them coming and swimming, trying to swim naked in my pool. No.
Well, the rule for you, I don't know if it's a rule, but the way things have gone the last couple of years on this show with your Gold Star locks, you get off to sluggish starts, but by the time we get to like December and then the postseason, it's money time. So it's almost like you got to fade the buck early and then tail the buck down the stretch. Are we doing that again, or are we getting off to a hot start?
No, we're getting off to a hot NFL start. Thank you, Dallas Cowboys. That's right. We will be putting coin on the Dallas Cowboys this year.
To win or to lose?
To win. We're going to get you that home that second home that you're looking for.
Betting on the Cowboys is going to be your plan?
I'm not going to be afraid to bet on the Cowboys this year.
You better go ahead and cancel your Zillow account. You no need to be looking at homes if you're planning on doing that.
Oh, no.
Man. Well, Thursday, it's back. Carolina, 1.5-point favorite. Not that I'm paying attention already. Over under 36.5. Not that I'm paying attention to that already. But I'll be locked in. It's football, and I know what it is. It's the preseason, and this is even pre-er than the preseason. And that field in Canton sucks so bad. Like, guys who will actually play in the couple of preseason games that we do get will not play this week because of how terrible the playing surface is sometimes up there. But it will be live football on my AV Consultations television screen on Thursday. We made it.
I mean, I wonder how many of these players are pissed that they're going to be here over the next 2 weeks starting to have games in their stadiums, and that nice grass field that they had for the World Cup is gone, and they're back to their regular burns on their arms and legs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, they are not going to be happy.
Now, the first ACL tear that happens this year, everyone's going to be ticked. Not just the players and maybe coaches, but like all the fans are going to be like, really? Like, we went through an entire World Cup playing on grass surfaces and nobody had that.
Oh, that's right. I don't recall anybody being carted off that way that I've watched. I mean, may have been some other games that I missed, but I don't remember anybody being carted off with knees and all that stuff.
Well, it is soccer, so there were a lot of guys carted off, but then they came back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes later,
they laid on the ground holding their knees like they were busted. But yeah,
yep. So yeah, no, that's going to be a big story because World Cup's still on the brain for some folks. So get ready for that.
I have a hard time now. I do understand why, because it's just how do you keep the grass growing at some of the places and stuff like that. And they've shipped it in, BK, and it's $1 billion industry. It's not like a couple million. It's your product is so important to you, and you've had these immaculate fields, and the players are like, how comes we don't get that? They bring all these Euros over here to play, and we're playing on this, I know, It costs a lot of money to keep a field up, because what would you have to do? Change that field every 4 weeks, maybe? It may be able to survive and patch it up.
You gotta water the grass all the time too. Like, it's not just
Come
changing it
on.
out. It's you gotta maintain. It's like a lawn.
It's a billion-dollar industry. You're messing with guys that are making all kinds of money. Why
Hey,
don't you?
NFL contracts aren't guaranteed. If a guy gets hurt, the owners don't have to pay him.
Yeah, that is part of the industry, isn't it?
Yeah. So the owners, they know what you're saying, believe me. But Jerry Jones, especially, that guy doesn't care about winning. He cares about lining his pockets.
Yeah,
He ain't doing something that's going to take money away from him. You kidding me?
He took the curtain down, didn't he? Or put the curtain up?
Down. I did see over the weekend, Jerry Jones, what a guy. What a hero he's about to be. He is considering, not confirmed, tinting those windows at AT&T Stadium.
Oh my goodness!
No curtains like he had in the World Cup, but he might tint them a little bit. So y'all stop complaining about the sunshine for those 3:25 kickoffs during the season, please.
Wow.
Considering tints, Buck. There you go. A real NFL headline from the weekend that I did want to talk about. Speaking of the Cowboys, speaking of the Texans, Jadeveon Clowney is returning to the Houston Texans.
That? Are you excited about that?
I think so. He's still got some gas left in the tank. I mean, he
Yeah.
led the Cowboys in sacks last year with 8.5. And obviously the pass rush for the Cowboys fell off a cliff after the Micah Parsons trade. Who could have seen that one coming? But Jadeveon Clowney did that at the age of 32. He's now 33. He lives in Houston. Of course, the Texans drafted him number 1 overall back in 2014, but that is his hometown now, where he lives in the off seasons, and he's going back home. So look, the Texans, they have Will Anderson Jr. They've got Danielle Hunter. It's not like Clowney needs to come in there and save the defense.
Yeah, he's a depth guy. That's great.
Add him into your rotation to make an already elite pass rush even better. I really like this get for the Texans, and they're not paying him a whole lot. It sounds like maybe he took a little less. He was in Cleveland last week for a visit. I think the Browns probably offered him more, and he's like, no, I'm going to go back home, live in H-Town, and play for a half-decent team.
I'm not living in Cleveland. He's like, I'm out of here.
That's your Norman versus Austin debate right there. Like,
yeah, thank you very much.
You're living in big city in Texas. How much do you have to be paid to go do the same job in Clee?
No.
No. No amount. The answer is just no. But Clowney, look, had some very good years in Houston. Obviously, the start of his career, his first 5 seasons, 3-time Pro Bowler, was a second-team All-Pro, was eventually traded to the Seahawks. The Texans got nothing. That's what the Texans did. That was a dark era of Houston where they would just trade everybody for zero. DeAndre Hopkins is the name that comes top of mind there. But, yeah, again, I like the get up. Clowney still has some game left. And, man, putting him in that defense, it's a Super Bowl defense. Once again, we know what the questions are down in H-Town this year for the Texans.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it ain't that side of the ball.
How's our guy Romo doing? Has he gone to court yet? Is he battling this?
Romo is a miracle.
Romo's a miracle. Still doesn't have his gig.
No big updates, I don't think, from Friday.
He's still suspended.
Yeah, he was placed on leave by CBS. Speaking of Cowboys and Texans, J.J. Watt is currently the guy filling in his stead while he's on paid leave, but nothing in terms of Tony Romo losing his job for good, nothing in terms of what's going to happen with the legal process.
Yeah, Jim Nantz can make that call probably if he needs to.
Yeah, I think so.
Once the regular season starts, he may just say, no, I need to have Romo back.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I mean, CBS could also be like, we have a way to get out of this ridiculous contract that we gave.
Yeah. If he's got one of those ridiculous contracts, you're right, BK. This may be our way.
Sorry, Nance. Find a way to make it work with JJ.
Yeah, and you can make it work because Nance has got to be towards that time of. Is he continuing to do golf, or is he at that time where he's backing away a little bit too?
He backed away from the Final Four. So, but
okay.
He hasn't backed away from golf and he hasn't backed away from football. So we've seen him like take some steps back. He's 67, I think almost 68. So, yeah, maybe starting to slow down a little bit, but I think golf and football are the two that he wants to keep as long as he can.
Sure.
And those are big money ones and pretty easy ones, I think, for him at this
Yeah.
point. Friends.
And
How sad is that last goodbye Friends going to make you feel?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that'll be awful.
I cry when he does that one.
Yeah, that'll be sad. Hell, even for him in football, it would be pretty sad.
Yeah. I'm going to miss his ridiculous bits and shtick and his dad humor that he brings to the table.
Yeah, he brings good stuff. He brings order to the broadcast.
Does do that.
I'm very interested in J.J. Watt, how he'll do.
Yeah, he's called games before. He's been a studio guy for CBS the last couple of years, but he's done some color commentary work. So
that'll be interesting.
He knows ball. One of the best defensive players who's ever lived, and he breaks the game down at a high level. So I think he'll be really good. And I don't know if he's the long-term number one guy with Jim Nantz, even if they do decide to part ways with Romo, but I think he'll be great in that role. So we'll find out together.
As long as he's not like your buddies, your two buddies, your one buddy from Norman and your other broadcaster that are jumping on each other's back, doing the jump around. Hey, okay, boys, you can stop with that.
Yeah, I don't want to see any twerking going on in the broadcast booth with Nance and Watt.
No.
I don't really want to see that with any football broadcasting duo, for the record. It's still one of the most absurd things. That's Tim Brando, who Texas fans hate. Very good reason. And Spencer Tillman, Oklahoma guy.
They should hate him too.
He's a good dude. I will say this. I have talked to Tillman a couple of times. Nice guy. But yeah, I mean, don't be grinding on your broadcast.
Oh my God.
You don't need it's jump around, not hump around, boys. And we know the song is called Jump Around. Just do that. Just jump. That's all you're supposed to do.
Just a couple boys having fun in the booth.
I mean, do you and Mark Honig do this when y'all are calling Lake Travis games in the booth?
Never. My seat never leaves the seat.
What if jump around's playing? You just stay.
I stay down. I don't jump around.
Okay. No jumping, no humping.
We're getting close to that too, and as they continue to build that new stadium over there at Lake Travis.
Is that not done yet?
No, that's not going to be done until halfway during the season. I'll be at Dripping Springs for half the year again.
Oh, it's Lake Travis. Don't they have enough money to just get it done by kickoff?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, once again, what do you need with a 20,000 seat stadium? I think it's primarily because you can still, those playoff games can be played there too.
Yeah, maybe that's a part of it.
I think so, because you don't have to go up north and the Palace on Palmer and some of the other stuff. You can play games right there.
I like it. All right.
Get that money back. Get that money back.
They'll make it back. They'll make it
back.
Yeah. Before we get to the BBK news here to close out the show, our final round of sponsor shout-outs, I'm going to give some love to our friends at centextickets.com, Buck.
Yeah, baby.
Season right around the corner. They've got tickets available for every Longhorn game right now. You don't have to wait until September to start buying your Texas football tickets. Do it now before the demand gets out of control. Centextickets.com. Super easy to use. Log on from your phone or computer. They've got every Texas football game, but they've got every Longhorn sporting event. They've got every sporting event. They've got concerts, comedy shows, ACL Music Festival, Circuit of the Americas, F1 coming back out the Coda. If you want to be at any live event, only one place to go to find your seats. That is centextickets.com. Use the promo code CENTEX10 and you will get 10% off of any ticket purchase.
Very nice.
And also Sleep Cycle Center. Our guy, Dr. Chad, and his great team at Sleep Cycle Center. 2 Austin area locations, both state-of-the-art facilities, super nice, super clean, and the technology that they have is ridiculous. Look, if you snore, if your partner snores, if you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, or if your partner has trouble falling or staying asleep, or coworker or a friend, people complain when they can't sleep. The people in your life who have trouble sleeping. The best thing you can do for them, or the best thing you could do for yourself, is to schedule a free consultation with Dr. Chad and the team at Sleep Cycle Center. Might have undiagnosed sleep apnea. More than 22 million Americans have undiagnosed sleep apnea, and your sleep is the most important thing that you do in this life. Don't mess around with it. Get it taken care of with our guy, Dr. Chad. It's not just CPAP. They've got night guards. They've got oral appliances. They've got other things that they could try to make your sleeping issues go away for good. SleepCycleCenters.com is their website. Mention Bucky and BK, and you're going to get $100 off an at-home sleep study from our great friends at Sleep Cycle Center.
Yeah, we need to get Dr. Chad on here soon. I got to ask him about some stuff in the summertime and all these places that are having all these smoke around some of these different states. What does that do to your sleep? Sucking in all of this stuff. He'll know some of that deal too.
Yeah, he's an expert and a good dude to boot. So we'll get him back on the show very, very soon. All right, the BBK news as we wrap up a Monday program. Perhaps a little NSFW call needed for this. Now, we're keeping this maybe PG-13 here. Radio friendly for everybody out there. There's a new study that has ranked the most sexually adventurous states in the union. Buck. We have a kink score, if you will. The study was conducted by a company called Say It With a Condom. Are you familiar with their work?
No, only I'm a Trojan man.
Nicely done there. Got to get them as a sponsor, huh?
There you go.
I like that thought. Well, a new study conducted by Say It With a Condom has ranked every state by quantifying everything from how many times residents get it on each week to searches for sexy online content to visits to adult-only stores. Are you a big fan of those, the Cindy's of the world?
Is that a store?
Oh, playing dumb now for the people. I see.
No. Now I'll say I've been in maybe one or two in my entire lifetime.
Okay. All right. So you're not doing your part to help the state of
no,
Texas.
I'm not. Oh, I'm not a creeper. I feel creepy in those places. I barely can get into the lingerie places when I had to go in and buy stuff for my significant other.
She asked you to do that?
Well, I went in to buy something. When you go in to buy something special, you think you know what you want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you try that and you look at her and she goes, I'm not going to wear that. But you're like,
I feel like she knows what she wants to wear. And most of the time when dudes shop, it ain't that.
It ain't that. Yeah, it ain't that. But I always try my best to do that. I mean, I can pick out jewelry. I'm doing pretty good at that. But I've done that other thing before. And I got a big no. I'm not a school teacher. I'm not a former nun. I'm not doing that.
Not a role play guy, huh?
No. I'm okay with it. But
hey, maybe your wife needs a pizza. Maybe your toilet's clogged.
Delivery guy.
Yeah, come on. Got to fix the toilet.
I've not scored with that before. I've always been no. I'm not going to do that. Are you going to take that back? I said, well, just let me leave it around. So if I want to wear it.
Yeah, fair question from our guy Longhorn Bear. You're talking about doing all this lingerie shopping. Are you saying you are wearing this?
No, I only wore my mama's pajamas. That's about it.
I don't know if I have any follow-up questions on that.
My mom had these beautiful satin red pajamas that I used to like to put on and walk around every once in a while.
You're cross-dressing?
No, it was pajamas. It was long pajamas like men. It wasn't anything short. But she was very elegant when she wore those around the house. And so I was thinking, I could look elegant too. Why not?
It's like a regular thing? Like you would just go into your mom's underwear drawer and steal her pajamas?
No, I just have seen those laying around and I put them on before.
Huh. Interesting bit. I don't think most people did.
No, as a matter of fact, I have a pair of black ones like that now.
That you got from your mother?
No, that I got at a men's place.
You got women's pajamas? You bought women's pajamas?
No. Where you can buy men's satin pajamas. I've got a pair of those.
I didn't know where this segment was going. I didn't think it was going there.
And let's just remember, I don't keep them on anyway.
That's you're right. You do sleep nude. You have
Yes.
mentioned that from time to
Yes.
time, which it's
Always.
better than wearing women's clothes, I guess,
Thank
to go to
you.
bed. Okay, so we've got 4 categories that compiled this kink score rating. We've
Okay.
got average sex frequency per week, adult stores per 1 million adult population. So just how many adult stores are there? Got kink searches for 10,000 people or per 10,000 people, and NSFW content searches per 1,000 people.
Okay. 2 out of the 4 belong to Florida man and woman.
So those are your 4 factors, and
Yes.
they consider all of those things and compile a score that is called the kink score. Care to take a guess out of the 50 states where the Lone Star State fell on this list, Buck?
I'm going to say top 25.
Going halfway home?
Going halfway home. Florida number 1. Florida number 1 leads the league and all of that.
We'll get to the top stuff in a
Yeah.
moment.
How would I do with Texas top 25?
Texas is in dead last. How about 50th in kink score, according to this survey done? We're not having a lot of intercourse. We don't have enough adult stores. We don't have crazy searches online. Now, part of that maybe is because a lot of that stuff is illegal in the state of Texas. Like you
We
can't
go to a lot of church. We go to a lot of church. We do a lot of church.
We go to a lot of church here, absolutely. But, some of the websites that are easier to get to in other states are not as easy to get to in this state.
There you go.
Maybe that's a part of it. But I don't know, man. I've encountered some freaks in this state.
You've encountered some?
I'm surprised that we're dead last. And Florida is second to last.
What?
Right.
Florida man and woman?
I'm like you. I figured like Florida man and Florida woman, Florida whatever is going to be near the very top of the list. But they're 49. And again, I think a lot of the laws in the state make it a little tougher to search and find things, perhaps.
And since I left Massachusetts, I guarantee that has gone down.
Massachusetts is 18. So the top 5, it'll start at number 1 here. New Mexico, number 1, the freakiest / kinkiest state in the US of A.
Really?
Followed by Oregon. That doesn't surprise me.
No, that doesn't surprise me either.
Which my sister and brother-in-law moved there a couple years ago. Now I got,
how the Ducks can be.
I have no questions for them, actually. I don't want to ask anything like that. Arkansas, number 3. Hello.
Yeah. Way to ring that bell, Arkansas.
Yeah, your cousins. I guess that's freaky. Number 4 is Vermont, and number 5 is North Dakota. So some random ones. I don't know anything about either of those states to round out your top 5.
Yeah, I'm a New Hampshire guy. I don't know much about Vermont. Lots of maple syrup. Ooh, yeah. Lots of maple syrup.
Now we're talking. The state that has the most average frequency of intercourse per week is New Mexico. It's a big part of why they are number 1 on this list. 2.06 times per week average frequency of adult population in New Mexico. The most adult stores belongs to Oregon. The most kink searches belongs to Vermont. And the most NSFW content searches belongs to New Mexico by a large margin.
Wow. Kind of freaky place, huh?
So there you go, kids. If you're looking at places to go to college, consider that list or don't consider that list. And another reason maybe for you parents to try to keep the kiddos in state because Texas is dead last on that one.
Where does Hawaii fit in there, BK?
Hawaii's number 11.
Yeah, I can see it.
Just outside of the top 10. Yeah, the bottom 5, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Texas. A lot of SEC there.
Yeah,
that's a lot of South, a lot of
going to church.
Good Christians going to church, old school. I like that. We're not getting into that stuff.
No, we got other things to think about.
Well, Well, you say we, but you got a mouse in your
Yeah.
pocket or something?
No, I don't. No, there's no mouse in my pocket.
All right. Well, about me. Real quick, why today's not so bad. Oh, man, we should have started the show with this. It's National Grab Some Nuts Day, Buck.
These
nuts.
National Grab Some Nuts Day, so try that one out there.
Oh, my goodness.
National Watermelon Day.
Okay. Had some watermelon over the weekend.
Checks out.
Already sliced and cut.
Nice.
Can't touch it with my hands. Use the fork.
A couple of birthdays. Tom Brady. Oh.
Whoa.
49 today.
Got the big one coming up next year.
He would still be a top 10 quarterback in football if he was playing. Changed my mind.
Of course he would.
Jay Cutler celebrating a birthday today. Martha Stewart.
What's up, Martha?
Martin Sheen. Oh, yeah, you're going after all that. And born on this day, now dead, the great 20-time Grammy Award winner, Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett.
Left
I
my
left
heart.
my heart in San Francisco.
The jam of all jams right there. So there you go. That's why today's not so bad.
Awesome.
And don't forget, grab
These nuts.
some nuts
God.
today.
Wait till I go downstairs. I'll get a laugh out of that.
All right. Well, new time. First day of the new time. Appreciate
Yes.
y'all tuning in. 8 to 10 on the live digital YouTube portion of the show. We get your podcast earlier as well. But yeah, we appreciate y'all waking up a little earlier with us. And we will be back tomorrow. Again, fall camp starting later this week. Plenty of Texas football conversation. And we're excited to keep it rolling with y'all as we have finally reached the month of August.
Yes.
Great show, my man.
Same with you, man. Good to have you back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be back and good to have y'all with us. Thanks again for tuning in. We will talk to y'all tomorrow.
Welcome.
Okay.